friends. She's all done. She's all dusted. This is the last podcast of the Mad Monday at the ACC and the Export Beer Garden studio here for 2022. It makes me sad, but it also makes me happy because what an interesting, enjoyable, awesome season we've had this season. And, of course, this entire podcast wouldn't be made possible without our great friends at Wendy's. I'd like to say a big shout-out to Wendy's. Storme, Dai, would you like to say anything to Wendy's?
Oh, I'd like to say, in the words of Hayley Westenra 2007, I'd like to say...
Oh, right. Okay.
I'd like to say a big thanks to Wendy's. You've stood by us through what's been an up and down season for the Wawas, but it's been 100% redlining from the Mad Monday crew.
That's right.
And everything from your mushroom melts through to your baconators. I love you. Your
cheeseinator, your chickinator, you know what I mean?
Oh, just the whole of nader.
All the Brent Naden. Oh, wait, no, it's a NRL player. I was trying to do a segue.
I'd like to say, in the wise words of Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, hey, eat Baconator every day.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. You could have gone eat Wendy's every day.
Eat Wendy's every day. Yeah.
Dumb. Either way, we absolutely nailed it. Now, fellas, looking at the latest round of the NRL, just one game. It was the Panthers, and although we did do the commentary on Sky Sport, which
there was another team playing, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, half a team.
Oh, okay.
And even though we did do the commentary on Sky Sport, it was extremely enjoyable, the three of us, in fact. The Panthers did get the win, 28 points over the Eels, 12.
The Panthers can smell blood again here. Cleary, Edwards, Staines, Charlie Staines has scored! It's the try that probably wins the grand final.
Oh, that's not what you want to hear. Charlie Staines scoring the try to seal the deal on your team there.
Also, is that what average commentating sounds like? Because
what was that off? Who was that? Was that radio commentary or something? That wasn't Channel 9, was it?
To me, that sounds like Ben Dobbin.
Right.
Although he was sideline, I think, for Triple M. I think that could have been one of the Queensland commentators.
Right.
Just while we're on the topic of Charlie Staines, he said Charlie Staines, that try sort of seals the match. That match felt sealed from early on in the piece.
I reckon 5 minutes in. The first 4 minutes, we were like, oh, yeah.
Here's a Charlie Staines fact for you, though. Charlie Staines has more premiership wins than Nathan Hindmarsh, Trent Barrett, Stacey Jones, Andrew Eddinghausen, Wayne Pearce and Wally Lewis combined.
2.
Yeah.
that doesn't count.
That's unfair. But yeah, I mean, that does... Well, I mean, 13 blokes on a field, 17 in a starting squad, you know what I mean? It's going to happen. It's like a flow-on effect. So does that make me happy? No, it doesn't.
Did you see like a couple of the post-match funnies, I suppose, with a couple of the Panthers boys? They're going around with their phones and they go up to Api Kurosao and they're like, oh, show us your rings, brother. Show us your rings. Yeah, not going to get those at the West Tigers, brother. Not going to get those at the West Tigers.
So on that... Api Kurosao fully mocked the West Tigers in his speech at Fan Day.
Right.
Laughing at them. And I don't know how I feel. While we're on this game, though, Api Kurosao, right? He didn't start the game. We're talking about this, talking how it could have been a bad call.
That's right, Mitch Kenny.
Mitch Kenny started the game. The ball was going behind Nathan Cleary. That was the only time the Eels were in the game. The second Uppy came on, everything clicked.
Yeah.
And the tries started flowing and the points started flowing. So he's a crucial player in that side. Penrith took out all 4 leagues, the Jersey Flegg, SG Ball and the New South Wales Cup. They have a young guy who's playing, I think it's Jersey Flegg or it could be SG Ball, who they're saying is the next Api Kurosao. So Penrith, they might be losing players, but I think they're still going to be in the running next year.
Yeah. I mean, so when you're just touching on Api, what did he actually say about the Tigers when he was laughing about them?
So he went, so I've had two premierships here and I'm sure that'll continue at the Tigers. And then had a big mocking laugh. And it's as a Tigers fan, how do you feel when he's doing that? They're going to Asai Papali'i. So are you keen on going to the Tigers? And he's, hey?
Yeah.
Like, no, he still won't say yes or no. So I mean, if you're a Tigers fan, I'd be a bit miffed because it seems when Uppy is doing that sort of thing, it feels like he's just doing it for the money because he's on a $2 million deal.
He even admitted that he's doing it for the money. There was a quote that I saw. I just saw a thumbnail on Instagram that had like the brief summary of the quote, but it was like, in the modern age, it's a business. This is a purely financial decision. If I could, I would stay here as long as I could.
Oh, wow.
So literally, he's just saying, look, I've got my 3 rings, and now he's just got to go and make money.
And Gutho, in his post-match speech, doing the rounds, saying thank you, and then he mentions how many players the Eels are losing. I think in comparison to the Panthers, and he's going, and the players that are going to be here next year, we don't want to experience this again. We're going to be motivated enough to get back here to the final and win it. Because I don't know, I can't see that happening.
No.
You're losing too many key players.
Not without Marata Niukore, you're not. Yeah.
No, and also they're in this issue of both their halves need to be re-signed. Both their halves want $1 million plus.
They're both.
So if you drop, say, $2 million to $2.4 million on your halves, that's a fifth of your salary cap gone. You've still got 28 players to sign.
I think Moses is worth that maximum. I don't know if Brown is yet. He's showing signs of it, but he was inconsistent all season. He started hot, middle was kind of average, finished quite hot again, but then even on that game, the final, his defence was pretty bad. You know what I mean?
Great.
So I didn't feel Parramatta were up for it. And then I was looking into it. They didn't get a team bus to the ground.
What?
Well,
they all came they got dropped off by their missus and stuff.
Oh, nah, you can't do that.
So Penrith did the whole psych up, warm up, meet at the club, get on the bus, come as one. And they were all, Sean Lane's in an Uber, eh? He'll be here soon. Can
I jump in with you, bro? Is that all good?
Somebody comes in on one of those e-scooters.
On the line, eh?
Gring, gring.
So the thing is, they wanted, Brad Arthur's thinking behind this was they wanted it, it's just another game. But then they ran out and it clearly wasn't just another game. They were up against Penrith. We mentioned this in the call. Their swarm defence, they just didn't give an inch.
Yeah.
There was one chance where Moses kicked on the second tackle to get out of trouble or to do something new. That sort of worked, but...
Or Reid Marnie did that little grubber to the side and then that started a break.
It worked, but they lost the ball.
And then that ball and that amazing tackle by Dylan Edwards.
Yeah.
And how's this? Dylan Edwards gets Clive Churchill medalist, right?
Which is awesome.
Awesome. Not one Penrith Panther high-fived him.
Oh, that was
or
sad.
cheered him. They all snubbed him. It was really weird.
What?
So I watched it back. They go and Dylan... last year when Nathan Cleary got it, he was getting teabagged by Luai and the whole
strippers came out to
everything.
Man,
but it was like Dylan Edwards and he looked around and he sort of just got this awkward grin and he just walks up and gets it.
It was really sad.
And then when he's coming off, they high-five him. But this is the first... the first year where neither the Daly M winner or the Clive Churchill winner is in the Australian squad.
Oh, man, we got to talk about that Aussie squad because that blows my mind.
That's... Do you think, because, this has happened before and teams are pretty good at hiding it. Clearly there are people that aren't very popular within the team and then... and because Penrith has this thing where they love to show off how much they love one another, you know what I mean? They're jumping on top of each other, To'o, Luai, the whole lot. They're all, and then Dylan Edwards, who I'd think is massive. When I heard that he had won it, I was like, that's awesome. He's been amazing this season.
So I don't think that there's a rift in the camp from what I can view. I obviously don't know anything. But the way it looks is he's a massive workhorse. He's at the gym early, he's benching hard, he trains hard. He just does his mahi, right? And he's the quiet guy. He's not... Whereas then you've got all Luai, Cleary, To'o, Crichton, who just, when they score a try...
Yeah.
It's,
man pile.
They go from scoring a try to 10 pingers deep to Darude Sandstorm within 30 seconds,
Absolutely, yes. Oh, but surely even the quiet guy, you know what I mean? Around our office here, if the quiet guy was to win some sort of award...
Oh, you lose your shit.
We all still lose our shit.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. I'm gonna say that.
No, we do, though. You know what I mean? So that's really weird. I wonder... Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it was... I noticed I saw a couple of tweets of Penrith fans were picking up on it, and then I sort of watched it back. It's one of those things. It's not a massive snub, like a purposeful snub, but it's just like it's a bit weird. Like they all sort of just standing around.
I reckon we should try and make a big deal out of it, just because I want to see some cracks in Penrith. You know what I mean? I want there to be a bit of like, maybe they're not as perfect as they think.
You reckon it's true that Dylan Edwards slept with
Ashley Klein?
Yes.
So
and that's why they're upset.
You want cracks in Penrith? Here's some cracks. Here's some issues that I've got. The way that they celebrate, okay, off the field, they're known that if there's a no-legged 5-year-old trying to build a go-kart, they're there in a second.
Which is great. Yeah.
They're off to Bummings and
Bummings.
They're off to
at Bummings Warehouse.
We'll bum you 20% better.
Find anywhere to get bummed, and we'll do it for 20%.
That's
cheaper.
10%.
So they're off getting wheels and all sorts to make sure this kid's got a go-kart. But then when it comes to celebrating, I don't like them mocking the other team.
No,
they did it last year to South Sydney. When they beat South, then Viliami Kikau was singing the South song and mocking Souths on social media.
And then Brandy had a word with them, and some former players were like, you guys need to pull your heads in, remember?
Yeah, and so this year they were chanting "We hate Para."
So they've learned nothing.
With their fans, and mocking Para. And it's just a bit stink, because it's like, it feels even worse when they hammered them.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you did your work. Now just celebrate the fact that you were an awesome team. And then James Fisher-Harris had a couple of issues. He said that we are hands down the best Penrith side in history. Jesus. Which is a bit... It's just a bit weird, because you're snubbing all these Penrith legends.
I've never heard him speak before, and the first words I heard come out of his mouth is just filth.
Pure arrogance.
Pure filth. He was like, F Para.
That's the thing.
Oh, yeah, and he did the full... James Fisher-Harris did the full F Para at the public fans thing, which I think it's a really bad move to have a fan day at 10 a.m. after a grand final win.
That's just so
because
right,
they all showed up. You know, Luai thinks that he's Scarface. He's got a cigar and the Norm Proven trophy
nose.
and his glasses on. He's facing a World Cup ban for the use of the N-word on social media.
It's just dumb, isn't it? It's just so dumb. And for example, Dai, I mean, you've got your son here playing NBA in front of us on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
When the Warriors, who I can't stand because they're so good, right? They are the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
In the NBA. They win a whole lot of championships. They bring all these players in, and I don't like it, but they win. And then afterwards, they are incredibly I don't hate them when they're celebrating because they've earned it. They're not dicks about it. I hate them because of how good they are. I was like that with Penrith, but now I hate them because of how good they are and because they're all massive dicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I'm the same. That first year that they were in the GF against Melbourne,
and they lost. Yeah,
and they lost.
And I was going for them.
But I love that side there because they felt like the young guns, black cap sort of side. They felt just there's so much talent. They're young. They were so enthusiastic.
Is it like Tony Puletua, Joe Ngalavao? Are you talking about that? That's good.
Oh no,
this is talking about the Panthers 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry, 2 years ago.
This is still Cleary in his when he's sort of just really coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know whether it's just a Kiwi thing or whether it's a worldwide thing. It just smacks of if you want people to hate you, that's a good way of going about doing it because every other club's fans are going, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think it is a bit of a New Zealand thing, but also you don't see, I worked in sports for a long time, I didn't see any other teams carrying on like that and making the rest of the league hate them, you know what I mean?
No, the Crusaders never did that.
No, but I hate them. But
that's...
You know, Razor does a breakdance and that's it. It's all good, you know.
Awfully obnoxious, but... No.
Oh, yeah, but not compared to, saying, F you, the Blues, you know what I mean? Or going down those
wrong
lines.
statement, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you got your Richie McCaws chucking his willy out of a helicopter to save people from forest fires. He's an absolute legend, even though he's a Crusader.
Oh yeah, he's stoic, but he's the captain of the All Blacks, so it's fine. In terms of the game, I mean, Mostly what I want to talk about is how they've carried on afterwards. But in terms of the game, the Eels, I mean, they scored a couple of tries late. A few of Penrith's tries were very well strung together. And you're right, Dai, when you said earlier that it's literally them rushing out on defence and just suffocating any potential chance of stringing anything together. I think, yes, that's their defensive prowess, right? But I think they must be the fittest team in the league to be able to just continuously do that. Like, how long is it until the Warriors are like, okay, we just need to be incredibly fit?
The Panthers aren't a big forward pack. Right? Like, I don't by the standards of the NRL, like, they're not monsters. You take the Titans, for example, right? They don't last very long because those are some big boys, some big bodies having to do some big meters for some big minutes. You look at the Panthers and they're just like, they're chiseled. They're like,
but the way they play, right? So, you know, post-contact meters, they're the worst in the comp at post-contact meters.
Right.
But all Penrith care about is quick play of the ball. So they just run hard, hit the deck face down, get up, play the ball. Yeah. They're not all about, they're talking about this on 360, I think, about the idea of other teams are wrestling for the extra 3 meters. Yeah. But that actually gives a defensive line time to set.
Right.
And all that. So they'd rather give up 3 to 5 meters, but get up and get the ball to Cleary, Luai.
Yes.
Have Yo in there as a sort of as a link in the chain that strings it together. Also, like the people who are coming off the bench, like Spencer Leniu had such an amazing.
His impact was awesome.
His impact was awesome. They rotate well. I think this is an example of such a well-coached team. Also, you're talking about how fit you thought they are. Bear in mind, they looked fit in a grand final game. Grand finals and Origin are played at a way higher pace. So that fitness is next level.
Yeah.
Ivan Cleary just had the wheels greased and they just play. They all know where each other are. So many threats on the field. Parramatta had one job, and that was to shut Nathan Cleary down. He got touched kicking the ball once. And that was on the first set when Reid Marnie came through and managed to put him on the ground.
Meanwhile, Moses was just under pressure constantly whenever he got the ball.
Also, where Parra went wrong, I reckon that they were actually trying to hide Wonga Blake too much.
You can't be worrying about stuff like that.
So you can't. So was it a good move to even have him on the park?
That's what we were saying. Yeah. Put Niu Kore at centre and just, you know what I mean?
Because they were reshuffling to get Gutho round to catch the ball. So then they were bunched up with 3 people on the left-hand side.
Gutho was having to do a lot of cleanup as well.
That's what he's good at.
So early, if you look at like the first, say, 20, 25 minutes, a lot of the meters that were being made was by Maika Sifo,
who I thought, aside from dropping the ball on the line at quite a crucial time, he actually had a very good game.
He had a very good game.
That was his best game of the season. Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think back, okay, what forward stood out for me for the Eels? Couldn't name one because I feel like
even Junior Polo didn't. Sure, they had runs, RCG, they had runs, but they just ran up against a brick wall
every time
and then stopped dead or pushed back.
Like for us, the first person we're thinking about who was a batting ram in the game was Spencer Leniu.
Yeah.
And then we haven't even mentioned the likes of Yo, who had a fantastic game.
Fisher Harris,
who had a great game. Uppy came on with injection. Like the first 4 forwards we're talking about are all from...
that first, was it the first try Crichton got the first try?
Yeah, that was a really good inside ball to Crichton there.
But also, he waltzed through that line. Like he walked past 3 tackles and then sort of did an inside step. Granted, he's got long, glorious mahogany legs.
I didn't realise how long and glorious they were until that try.
So, Parramatta were just massively outclassed. Even though Penrith are losing these players, wow, they're a side to beat. And then it makes me, when I was sort of doing a bit of study and going down Warriors Twitter, because
it's always a good idea.
Warriors Twitter about this time of the year is signings are looking good, boys. I'm expecting a 4-8 finish here.
Far out.
And then also, that's when everyone forgets the amazing signings everyone else has.
Yes.
And also the fact that we struggled with fitness, we struggle with passing, we struggle with catching, we struggle with tackling.
Running.
So, and we've got a new coach coming in to who's got to sort of lay their own.
We as a corporation, as a Warriors corporation, we need to live up and uphold our slogan of keep the faith. If we had kept the faith with Ivan Cleary, we would have had a ring by now.
Yeah, because our halfback would be Nathan Cleary.
And then our halfback would be Nathan Cleary.
And we'd probably still have the likes of Papali'i and Sean Lane.
We would have John Ackland still.
Yep.
We would have this amazing pathways structure.
We just don't, and we're not keeping the faith.
But let's look at some positives here from a New Zealand point of view.
Okay.
There has been at least one New Zealand Māori representative in every grand final winning side for the last 10 years.
Hell's yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
I just really had to reinforce
you do you, man.
all of that. 100%.
So I mean, there's that.
I'll take it, man. That's enough to get me fizzed up.
I'm just trying to go for good Kiwi stats here.
Hell yeah. Speaking of, the Kiwi team is looking
And also, we
shaky
went over it ad nauseum last time about the actual Kiwi side is popping.
It is popping. The thing about that's so frustrating is I wish that the strength of New Zealand Rugby League was reflected in our rugby league side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that, like our national side, yes, but our actual rugby league side. But
Especially because we're called the One New Zealand Warriors.
New Zealand Warriors, yeah.
Like,
The TV1 NZ Warriors.
we sort of are the New Zealand Warriors, so we should maybe have one player in the New Zealand team.
Exactly. Dallin, right? He's in the wider squad, but I mean,
we've got Solglow, Dallin,
Watene-Zelezniak
in there.
yeah, but I don't think he'll be on the run-on side at the beginning. Something you did say earlier, though, Dai, which I massively agree with, and I think that's why Souths, even though they're fantastic during the regular season and through a lot of the finals there, they rely so heavy on Cam Murray's quick plays of the ball, right? He's a machine, and he has been through the walls because everyone targets him and shuts him down. And when he's not able to do that, Damien Cook can't get the ball fast enough. Cody Walker, they can't string together everything. You're right when you say Penrith have got like 4 of these guys taking regular hit-ups. Liam Martin, Fisher Harris.
Oh, Liam Martin had a great game.
Oh, he was the first guy smashing everyone. Every time someone got the ball, Liam Martin was there like foaming at the mouth, ready to chop them down. You know what I mean? But you're dead right. That is where they seem to have such quick ball at dummy all the time. Uppy is an absolute magician, and I'm glad he's leaving.
And that's the thing is, we talk about them over celebrating and that, but then when you look at them across the park, they all are quite humble. You know, there's a 3-year-old girl, no fingers, trying to fix her tricycle. They're like,
Does she get it from Bunnings West?
Like your Liam Martin's there in a second, just with a Allen key, tightening the seat and everything.
Good,
you know?
but they have to though. It's in their contract.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
They are quite unassuming. It is really only these like sort of 4 or 5 over the top.
Yeah.
Players.
Who will drag that out of everyone else as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and also Luai, who, as you said, dropped the old N-bomb on Instagram there. You were saying he might be out of the World Cup?
So far, I believe that's the only incident that's at the integrity board, just because it's, even though like he used it as a comp, he didn't wasn't negative at someone. He used it like you'd see in the movies or in a rap situation. Even though he was regarding a white person with it.
A weak gutted dog, wasn't it?
Yeah, he
was a mad grub in the game too. Do you see that moment when I think
when he kicked Papali'i?
Yeah. I've never really tried to buy into the fact that Luai is a grub. I kind of look at it like with one eye and then the open one eye squinter like that, and I was like, surely he's not a grub. But then like last night or on Sunday night, I was like, grubby.
Yeah, because he gave Papali'i a kick.
Which, I mean, Papali'i is a top bloke. Nice guy, good player.
Yeah, and
Don't
I mean,
kick him.
he can't say enough times how keen he is to go to West.
Everyone is so fizzed up to go there. Oh, well, I mean, at least they're getting these players. We're not. So they're winning there.
Taking that away, I think we can wrap this up by saying Penrith played their game of the season.
Yeah.
They were expected to win this in style. They won it in style. And you can't take away the fact that they fully deserve that win.
Yeah, they literally played exactly how I was terrified they were going to play, and they nailed it. We'll take a quick break here on the Mad Monday podcast. When we come back, we're going to be selecting our All-Star 17s each, including Storm, who has been sent Ben Hurley's one. He is currently overseas, and also one final off the back fence from Dai Henwood.
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Yeah, what are you getting the ref's room number, mate?
Oh, welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast. The final episode of the year, in fact, here in the Export Beer Garden studio. Thanks again to our mates at Wendy's for sticking with us this season. We're going to go into now each picking our All-Star 17. I've actually gone 18, just chucked an 18th man in there, just someone who I thought deserved to be in and around the squad. You've done the same. Storm, I'm assuming by the blank look on your face that you haven't done that, but that's okay.
Wait, I picked 19. Shame. You losers.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
man.
I'll just read out 17 today.
My guy's dedicated. Right, so do you want to start at position number 1 or at 17 or 18?
Let's start at 1, eh?
At 1?
Start it.
Right, so Dai Henwood, you go first. Who have you got at your all-star position for fullback?
At fullback, I can't go past James Tedesco. He's a big game player. There's so many fullbacks you could give a sniff to, but I'm sniffing James Tedesco.
He's been sort of the unsung hero all season, big meters, and of course it's Teddy. He's the absolute man, and you're a Punishing Roosters fan, so I get it. I am going for Latrell, even though he came back halfway through the season. He is just, when he was back, the things he was doing were just magnificent. And if he wasn't injured in that grand final qualification match, I reckon the Rabbitohs would have done a lot better.
Did you, just as an aside, see him and Cody Walker showed up and played for
Did they?
This indigenous...
And the Fox did as well.
Yeah, in this indigenous comp, they just showed up and went, can we join your team? So one team had Ben Barber, Cody Walker, and Latrell Mitchell.
God.
Yeah, Benny Barber did an offload to Trell Mitt to score
Trell Mitt.
Yeah, Trell Mitt.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I love that.
So, we imagine that when you go, okay, hey, so we just got a couple of ringers on the team list.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of, I don't know if you gentlemen are familiar with this, but we have a thing called Power Wars, which is where the Marais and certain iwis get together to do a rugby day.
We've had power wars for hundreds of years, though, haven't we?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
land.
these
you've had
ones are more
land
rugby
wars.
based.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
But Power Wars, and then it's like having I don't know, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak turn up to play Power Wars. Should I read out?
Yeah, it's not like bloody Captain Cook got here with a rugby ball and went, okay, first to 5 tries against the Hawke's Bay.
Wait, and then we get the first try, and he goes, "Oh no, last try wins. Last try wins." I'll read out Benny's. Senor Hurley's got a number 1. He got Trell Mitt.
Trell Mitt?
Yeah, he got Trell Mitt.
What? Trell Mitt?
Yeah, big fan of that, by the way. I think he's come away with my favourite nickname of the season.
Yep.
And just while we're here, number 1, a lot of people you could look at, but I was looking Reece Walsh.
Oh, you put Reece Walsh as all-star fullback.
Even though
yeah.
he's leaving.
Yeah. I've
So
got nothing wrong with that.
Reece Walsh is beating out Tedesco,
Yep.
Trell Mitt,
Huge.
Absolutely.
Dylan
Trell
Edwards.
Mitt.
Yeah, Trell Mitt. Yeah,
Oh.
Gutho.
Big call, but he's
Those
beautiful.
fellas aren't worth a lick in my team.
All
Big
right,
call, but he's beautiful.
let's go to the wing now. Position number 2, Dai Henwood, who have you got?
So this is who I'm playing on the wing is Trell Mitt.
Oh, Trell Mitt!
Trell Mitt.
I'm putting Latrell Mitchell on.
Can you do that?
on the wing?
I didn't know you could do that.
Contentious.
No, you can play them in any position they've been selected or played for in representative footy.
Right, all right.
So this
I
is
don't know
how.
the rules.
You're fine. It's fine. It's all
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Oh, you guys should have Power Wars.
I think if there's a footy ball around here, it is on. I've gone for someone that played in that position, Alex Johnson, and scored 2 lots of 30 tries in 2 seasons in a row.
Interesting. He doesn't run it out of meters well, but he scores a lot of tries.
Yeah, well, he's been phenomenal this season. I mean,
No,
Yeah, 30
form,
metre pass.
great selection.
Ben Hurley's picked all the way from the Nulla, Rodney Mulitalo. Ronaldo Mulitalo.
That's a lovely selection.
And I've gone for Dallin Watene-Zelezniak.
oh, nice.
I've all been
nice.
like a look.
So far, your team's got more Warriors in it than the New Zealand side.
Who have you got in jersey 3 there, Di?
Jersey 3 can't go past Joey Manu.
Joe Mutt.
Joe Muns.
Joey Scucks. I like it. I've locked in Joey Manu as well.
Ben Hurley's locked in Valentine Holmes. That's a no-brainer. I've actually gone with someone I thought who was quite surprising and shocking. Had a really nice end. And when he did show up for the team, he was outstanding in the form of Jesse Arthurs.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I support that decision. Who's joined?
Don't tell me your next centre is going to be Blake Ashford.
Nah, it's not. That's not. Don't worry.
I wish. Jersey 4, Dai Henwood.
Jersey 4 joining Joey Manu in the centres. I've got Matt Burton.
Matt Burton, yeah, when he was on form, him and the Fox linked up a few times for the Dogs. It was good to see. Actually, now that Hurley's said Valentine Holmes, and I've seen that he's actually got Joey Manu in Jersey 4.
Yeah, that's it. Ben Hurley's got Joey Manu 4.
Yeah, Val's had an amazing season, but I can't go past that mid-season game against Manly that Talakai had, where he just dominated.
Are you basing what, like your centre?
After that, he had about, and people that played Supercoach or Fantasy NRL will know this, he was an absolute beast there for a large stint.
Basically, for that middle third of the season, he was on fire.
But that Manly game, when he, Morgan Harper, he pretty much ruined his career there for a while. After seeing that, my boy has to be in.
Morgan Harper was in therapy for about 10 weeks before he just came right at the end of the season after that.
So that, anyone that can have that sort of psychological impact, I'm there for.
Yeah, I'll give you my number 4 here. It's not Blake Ashford, by the way. I'm not foolish. I've actually gone with Ewan Aitken.
Oh, Ewan Aitken.
In the back line.
Really just, I think he sits in quite nicely there on the right edge.
Your NRL All-Stars team looks to be finishing about 15th at the moment, I reckon.
Who have you got jersey number 5 there, Dai?
Jersey number 5, Brian To'o.
Yeah,
he runs it out. He runs it out of meters so well. He can score a try. He can tackle. That hairdo looks like it should be on He-Man or something like that.
Primal about it.
And he can wear a lot of lollilays, by the way. I don't know if you saw
lollilays.
I saw that. Yeah, he can wear a lot of them.
Those boys had a lot of lollilays.
A lot of lollilays.
Was that? My theory was because I think a few of them don't drink.
Ah, okay.
So I wonder whether they just went heavy on the shugs.
If I just could, real quick too, by the way, I'm a big fan of the Lollilay, but I looked at their ones and they had full-size Snickers. Normally you just put in like the snack-size ones, but they were the full-size Snickers.
That also shows how enormous those dudes are because they look like snack-size Snickers.
That's true. I've gone for Murray Taulangi just because young fella, he had an amazing try assist earlier in the season where he was pretty much out and threw it back in behind his back. He was just an amazing finisher for the Cowboys all season long.
Cracking workhorse as well. The thing is, he's not going to make a mistake.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ben Hurley had Alex Johnson, obviously for reasons of scoring a lot of tries. I actually had a bit of a workhorse in the form of Marcelo Montoya.
Blake Ashford.
Montoya ran it hard and straight this year, and he tackled hard. He had a few issues there which got him banned, but other than that, he played really well.
22 games. His tackling was amazing.
He was great, yeah. So I'm happy to have him at the club next season. Who have you got in the halves there, Dai? Let's go for the full combo.
In the half, my halves combo is Cody Walker and Nathan Cleary. I wanted Cody Walker in at 6 because he'd be combining with Trell Mitt on the
Trell Mitt.
And at number 2. Also, I'm sure he could put Burton and To'o into space, and Nathan Cleary can't go past it.
Yeah, fair enough. My halves combo is a man who gave up the drink and decided to get himself a max contract this year, Cam Munster.
And I thought you were going to say Hoity J.
No, he's given up the drink and getting himself a minimum contract this year, which is good. And I have to pair him with because I had Nathan Cleary in fantasy, right? He got banned for 6 games at the end of the regular season. He was injured at the start of the season, and while he was pretty good, he wasn't outstanding. Nico Hines, on the other hand, was outstanding the entire season long.
Yeah, you got the Dallin.
So, yeah, I've got Hines and Munster there pairing together in the halves.
And Ben Hurley's got the Storm Eels combo of Cameron Munster and Dylan Brown. And
wow. Brown.
Yeah.
Munster and Brown.
I thought that was interesting
similar.
as
That's
well.
sort of 2 sixes almost.
And I would like to think that my house pairing should be scoffed at in the form of Sean Johnson and Cody Nikorima. I think those 2 players on their best days could carve anybody up. And by their best days, I mean maybe they're 3 years ago.
What, their best days are behind them? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So they were really at one point they were high as stats on NRL Live. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think Storm, putting a average number 14 into your halves is such a bold move. I like it.
Oh, he made it to the Rabbitohs. He got to play finals footy.
He actually played quite well at the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, he did.
What about your front row there, Dai? Who have you got?
Oh, my front row. Starting is James Fisher-Harris and Joseph Tapine.
Same.
Ben Hurley, same.
Well, who have you got?
Or as they're still saying on Triple M, Joseph Tapine.
Are they still saying Tapine?
Yeah, which frustrates me so much because you're so far away from it.
And he's so good as well.
Well, you
I
got
know.
the first bit.
Show the man some respect. Who have you got, by the way?
Oh,
If you say Matt Lodge, I'm going to slap you.
okay. Bunty R4
Yeah, nice.
and Matt Lodge.
You didn't want to go for Adden? Okay, fair enough. Hookers. Now let's talk hookers. Dai Henwood, who you got?
I'm going. This was a tough one for me because ever since the old school, I've been a big Damien Cook guy. Then I sort of looked across Melbourne. I had a bit of allergic reaction to Melbourne, and I don't think they've been firing as well as they should. I've got Api Korosau in there because I just think he's more of a gun than people realise, even though they know he's a gun.
Yeah, it's just because there's so many guns, and he's such a little gun. They just forget. In hooker, I did originally have Harry Grant. But you're right, a few interruptions to the season. He was amazing when he was healthy and on form. However, I've decided to do what you did with Trial Mitt. Hey!
Wait, you put Trill Mitt at hooker?
Yeah. No, I haven't. I've put Ben Hunt at hooker.
Oh, nice.
no, that's
nice.
Because he's
Great
had
call.
a fantastic season.
Great call.
Best season he's ever played.
Hurley's had Harry Grant.
No, Harry Grant.
Yeah, Harry Grant. And I had Wade Egan.
Wait, Egg.
Yeah.
Wait, Egg.
Oh, look, I'm big. The one thing I came out of this Warriors season being big Wade Egan fan.
Oh, he's the man.
Big.
Good footy mind.
Wade
I'm a
Egan
Wade fan.
and Marcelo as well. Those two, I think, stood out to me. Okay, let's go our back row now. See, let's almost go our back three because the names you could slot in here, there were so many good players this season playing, lock in the back row.
Do you reckon this is also because that back row and centre have almost become interchangeable?
Yeah,
That there's
massively.
heaps of players who, even during the game, slide into defence in the centres. But for me, my back three, 11, 12, 13, I'm going Kian Kolomatangi from Souths, Asai Papali'i and Cam Murray in the 13.
I've literally got a very similar situation, except for towards the end of the season there, sealed the deal for me. I had to put my boy Sean Lane in there. His offload game had been outstanding until the final. Keon Kolomatangi is also in there for me. He's just come out of nowhere and been absolutely brilliant. And the Iceman is at 13 for me, just because Cam Murray, a lot of injuries, a lot of head knocks and stuff. When he's on and healthy, he's awesome, but just a lot of disruptions.
Good shout. Ben Hurley's got himself the Fijian flyer in Viliamikikau, followed by a new Kangaroos import of Jeremiah Nanai and Jason Tamalolo.
I like the differences between our teams. This is good.
We've pretty much got completely different teams in the Warriors.
Yeah, same.
Hang on.
Well, just while we're on there, then I'll give you mine. Tohu Harris, Josh Kern, Adam Fanua-Blake.
Look, that is a great. So where's Fanua-Blake playing for you?
I
playing in the back row.
Yeah, I got him in the back row.
In 13 or in 11,
13.
12?
I got him at 13.
You got
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Intriguing.
it's like Stacey Jones selected that team because it is all over the place. Jesus. To be fair, if I saw them run that out, I wouldn't be too disappointed. Hurley's a massive Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah, I mean, his first love's the Titans, but he is a big Cowboys fan.
And then
I
the
mean,
Warriors.
we mock him for the Titans, but he's a big. Cowboys is his second team.
Which is why Nanai is in there, which is why Tamalolo is in there, Valentine Holmes is in there as well. So, yeah, makes sense now. Okay, let's go to the bench now. Fellas, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's just do them all.
Okay, 14, I'm playing Harry Grant, just because of his impact that he had at Melbourne. I thought was absolutely wonderful. For my big boppers coming off the bench, having Nelson Asafa Solomona.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only going one big prop rotation in that, and then I'm in 16, 17, I'm carrying Tohu Harris and Sean Lane.
Yeah, nice. I've done a similar thing there. I like that selection.
Finally, someone picks a Warrior.
Yeah, he just crowbarred Tohu in there as well, I can tell. But fair enough. I like it.
I love Tohu.
This season, though?
Yeah, he hasn't had enough game time.
Yeah.
I'm basing him on the fact that he's an 80-minute player. So
Yeah.
he can play in the halves.
Yeah. Yes, he can play in the halves. He can play prop. He can play wherever you want him to. My interchange is looking like Harry Grant is on the bench, same as you. I've then got Ruben Cotter, the flying mullet. Jeremiah Nanai, who, for same reasons as Ben, just outstanding this season. And Patrick Carrigan, mainly because Carrigan and Cotter, their impact for Queensland and State of Origin was just next level. The intensity and the energy those two brought together, I loved it.
I think I mentioned it a couple of times on this podcast, but I think Pat Carrigan is going to be the future of the forward pack for the Kangaroos and for Queensland. He's got that Gordon Tallis
and the
look to
Broncos,
him. Ben Hurley's got your Ben Hunts, your Icemans, your Pat Carrigans, and rounding out in the 17 is Tino Fa'asua Malawi.
Yeah,
and
to be fair, he's had an underrated season just because of where he is.
And he's playing in the Aussie team. I forgot my 18th man was Ruben Cotter. I love him.
So 18th man, Ruben Cotter. I've gone for 18th man, Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, nice.
I wanted him in there.
I'm going to pick Ben Hurley's 18th man, and it's going to be Cody Nikorima.
Classic Hurley.
And
it's going to be Philip Sami.
And my 14 to 18, Jack Murchie, Jazz Tivanga, Rocco Berry, Deja Nasi.
And 18th man, Kane Evans.
Traumet! Traumet!
Hey! Is that Traumet?
I'd love to see your whole team running out, and then in case of 4 HIAs, you've got Trell Mitchell sitting on the bench.
Oh, I love it. That is a good selection.
Should we get maybe webmaster Joe Jury, when he's not saving a child who's lost all their toes from a swimming pool, to put these up with a picture of us and our teams up on
I think
social.
that's a great idea. What you do is you say it on the podcast, you then release the podcast, and then he has no choice but to do it.
Yeah, I just thought he looks like a guy who could
slap together something.
Together something like that.
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Yeah, what are you getting the ref's room number, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great idea. All right, well, that wraps things up for our All-Star 17, or 18, really. And before we move on, of course, we can't finish the season without one last episode of Dai Henwood Off the Back Fence.
Oh, a long kickoff. The offload to Henwood, and he's off the back fence. Boom time.
I'm talking pathways here. I'm talking pathways. Sure, a lot of people like the NRL side. You like your flashy dashy 1 to 18, running out there with your high pay packets, your gambling issues, your off-field situations. But I'm talking pathways here. You look at teams like the Penrith Panthers. Heard of them? Yeah, of course you have, because they're playing the bloody grand final. They won. As we've mentioned, Jersey Flag, SG Bull in New South Wales Cup, Norm Summers Proven Trump Trophy, which is the grand final one that they won. The reason why they won that is because they just groom these children at school. And they make sure that they are just primed and ready to play NRL footy. They don't want to play anywhere else because they've been looked after by their club. Sure, they lose a couple. They lose a Viliami Kiko. They lose Api Coruscant. But then, boom, just popping out of their pants is another young'un ready to play, ready to get another ring, ready to go out there and put some goggles on and embarrass another side, which I don't appreciate, but I like the way that they played and the fact that they got a win. So you should be going up to your club, knocking on the door and saying, where are the pathways, mate? Where are the pathways? This is what I want to know, you know? And make sure you're talking to someone who's in the know, like a Cameron George, a Man Butcher, someone like that. Tell them, where are the pathways? We say we're going to have pathways next year. When I see it, I'll love it. But if I don't see it, I'm going to be asking, where are the pathways? Thank you very much for all the love I've received regarding Off the Back Fence this season. My name's Dai Henwood. Matewa.
A great end to the season there. I absolutely love that. And actually, where are the pathways? Don't forget to vote in your local council elections, because if your pathways around your neighbourhood there are dodgy, you got to vote.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Pathway, it actually transcends just rugby league.
It really does there. So a really powerful final Off the Back Fence. It's what we like to see. Well, fellas, it is time for us to wrap things up for another successful season of the Mad Monday podcast. We'll be back again next year, of course, in the Export Beer Garden studio.
And also, I've just been mooting this. We might even be back for a World Cup special if things start to get hot, because it's played overnight in Britain. So we could do maybe a weekly wrap-up for 3 of the weeks leading into the final.
That sounds bloody ripper. Also, big positive things on the horizon in terms of ACC NRL commentary. If you enjoyed the grand final, there'll be more where that came from next year, plus other things. And of course, we can't go without saying a final thank you to our mates at Wendy's. The Cheese-Nator, the Chicken-Nator, the Mushroom Mount. Doesn't matter, go choose your Baconator at Wendy's, all right? Thanks, guys.
No.
is not Australia. Rugby